this is the GoFundMe PowerPoint, which was created by Group 3. Our title is Helping Nadia Back to Her Feet, and the group members of this project are Madison, Ezra, Christian, and Dominic.
In this introduction, I'm going to explain the goal of our class project. In this semester-long project, we were put into groups to run a GoFundMe campaign in the hopes of raising small amounts of money via social media, which we later learned was called crowdfunding. Each group member had a chance to give his or her proposal of a person they felt was in need of donations. The person we decided to select was Nadia, which was my proposal. Nadia is an individual I met through Bible study. She is diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer and was scheduled to receive 10 chemo treatments, which was all covered by insurance until she got sick with strep throat. One of the appointments had to be rescheduled to the end and fell outside of the window of what the insurance was willing to cover. So in doing so, she had to pay out of pocket $13,000. So in raising this GoFundMe campaign, we were going to try to help her out as much as we could. In setting up the GoFundMe, I had to set up the account with Christian writing the bio to put as a description beneath the picture. The picture you can see to the right is something we voted on as a group. It shows Nadia holding a thumbs up, showing her perseverance through this difficult time, and then also a mask covering her face, showing that her sickness for a person who might be scrolling through the GoFundMe website. And then we have to the bottom a dog laying at her lap, which is a puppy of her landlord's. And I mean, who doesn't like a dog? So we thought maybe we can get some dog lovers to like it. We also had to set up the bank account information to make sure that Nadia was the beneficiary to help eliminate any unethical questions that donors might have. In doing so, it was a success to start out.
Thanks, Ezra. So I want to take a minute to talk about our group's communication, the methods that we use, the effectiveness, strengths, weaknesses, issues we ran into. Our primary form of communication was text. Really easy to get a hold of everyone. Everyone has their phone in their pockets. You don't have to worry about, did so and so check their email today. Additionally, we did use Blackboard Collaborate for some of the more in-depth discussions where it was easier to talk in real time to kind of flesh out some ideas. That was really, really useful. We used email as well, the student email on Gmail, especially in the beginning when we were writing out some longer ideas or plans that didn't necessarily fit into a text but weren't necessarily big enough for a collaborate session, such as like writing our roles. We used our emails for that to discuss strengths, weaknesses, preferences. Those were the forms of communication we used. They all worked very well. The variety was really useful. There wasn't pressure to, hey, every couple days or once a week we need to have a meeting virtually. It was good to keep communication in the variety that we had. We didn't really run into any issues other than one of the group members. His camera and microphone didn't work during our collaborate meetings, which did present a little bit of a challenge as we weren't able to hear his thoughts, his feedback in real time. He was able to engage in the chat, so he was still present. He was still able to hear everything and provide some input, but that was probably the biggest challenge that we had. But yeah, that's our group communication, and again, went very well without any challenges or obstacles.
Our professor had actually assigned us an assignment to decide roles that our group would undertake this semester to kind of help navigate this big project. And our group had decided that Ezra was going to be our group leader. He not only he was great at that, he was able to almost 9 times out of 10 turn in all the personal assignments, not only helping us with the group assignments quicker than most of us were able to do, just due to life. And Christian was our writer. He said that he was really good with words, and he not only proved that, but exceeded our expectations by providing a lovely description for our GoFundMe campaign. For Nadia, he pulled at the heartstrings. It was really lovely, and I believe it reached our demographic that we were trying to achieve. And it was perfect for what we needed. Dominic was originally our graphic designer, but as the semester kind of progressed, he switched into more of an analytical role, and he was able to provide us with some statistics on what demographics we were reaching, how far our posts were reaching, how many people were able to view it, and among other things. I was originally supposed to be our client liaison, but as the semester also kind of progressed, that morphed more into Ezra's role more than mine, just due to his personal friendship with Nadia. It made more sense in that retrospect. I kind of morphed into a more social media role, and I was able to not only share multiple posts on the Own2 platforms for the assignment that we were each personally given, but I was able to follow the rest of the group on the platforms that they chose, and we were able to share that, and I encouraged the others to do that. So then we were using 90% of the roles that our professor had given us examples of, and we were able to reach people more by doing that.
Our demographic was the Christian religion because Nadia herself was a member of Bible study and an active member in that community. The social media platforms we used were Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, Facebook, and even LinkedIn. We tried to utilize Facebook because Facebook has an older audience, and with an older audience, that typically means more disposable income. And with that disposable income, there's a better chance they'd be able to donate to our fundraiser. And we tried to maximize effectiveness of our posts by posting on weekends because we understand that people are going to be on their phones more throughout the weekends, Friday nights, Friday evenings, rather than a work week. We also tried to utilize effectiveness by posting on Easter, which is a Christian holiday. People are feeling more generous, more giving, and they're going to be on their phones more.
In this slide, I'm going to explain how an unethical situation arose during our project. From the start, with setting up the GoFundMe campaign, we wanted to ensure with the donors that we were being transparent with them, having Nadia listed as the beneficiary, putting in her bank account information very carefully and correctly. Also having Nadia update the GoFundMe campaign, letting people know that she was aware of what was going on and she was in support of it. Nevertheless, an issue arose. About halfway during the campaign, Nadia received news that her last chemo treatment was going to be paid for, which is perfect. I mean, that was the whole point of the GoFundMe campaign from the start, was to help her raise money for that, and it was already covered. The problem was we already had $940 already raised, and we didn't know what to do with the money because Nadia didn't want to receive it because she felt guilty knowing that that money was donated for a chemo treatment and not for her to use. But as a group, we felt like Nadia has been through so much that we wanted to help her out in any way possible. We asked, can this money be used for anything? She said, yeah, I was going to put a down payment on a car and that money could be used for that. And we're like, perfect. All we have to do is be transparent with our donors. So we had her update the GoFundMe campaign, letting them know that the money is going to be used for a down payment on a car. The great thing is we have to contact the previously already donated donors. That GoFundMe as a website already has the option to refund their money if they feel like it's being misused. So it was fixed. It was resolved, and actually there was a positive feedback from the donors. We actually, within I think a month, we already had our goal from 1,500 exceeded to $2,000, which is great. So I mean, it was a great success.
Thanks again, Ezra. All right, so in terms of our donations and our goals, initially we set a goal of 1,500, and this was prior to when we changed our goal, when Nadia was still trying to raise funds for her chemo treatment. We set that goal of 1,500, and we ended up with $2,000, well above our goal. And we ended up, as you know, switching the fund's destination to a down payment for a car for Nadia. You can see in the picture right here. And in terms of donations, we received a couple large donations. We had a couple people donate $500, which was so generous, so appreciated, really, really pushed us toward that goal. And we had donations as small as $20 or $50. Again, so grateful, for that. Every single thing pushed us toward that goal and enabled us to bless Nadia with her vehicle.
Overall, in conclusion, I feel as though we were really successful with this GoFundMe campaign. I do think that given that we can change the amounts of the GoFundMe campaign as it progresses, I feel like 3,000 was quite a bit for our group to undertake. Yes, we succeeded, and I am forever grateful for that. Not only were we successful in the assignment, but we also did it for a really great cause, which is amazing and awesome to know. But we also set the biggest goal compared to everyone else in our class. And that was a really, really big goal. Had we not reached it, it wouldn't have been surprising if we didn't reach it. That's huge. I also think that as we learned that Nadia's 7th treatment was actually going to be covered by Medicaid. We had updated the comments. Nadia actually commented on it saying the update, but we never really updated the original description. And I feel like for the people that did already donate, yes, they were anonymous donors, and like we couldn't, because they were anonymous, we couldn't reach out to say, hey, the GoFundMe project has changed a little bit. Her 7th treatment has been paid for, but we are going to switch it to helping with a down payment for a car. So she's able to save more expenses, and that can go towards other medical bills. We weren't able to do that with them being anonymous, but on the other hand, we didn't update that description to make that really, really well known. Had I not scrolled down further, like some other people don't, just because of lengthy reading descriptions, I guess is what I should say, they may not have known that. Overall, I do think that we learned really well how to communicate virtually, not only with it being an online class, but just our daily living lives. All of us were working either part-time or full-time, and some of us had internet connections, some computer cameras were not working, and we were able to be really flexible with that. Overall, I feel as though this really helped us prepare, even coming from a post-COVID world, on how to communicate better when life just really has other plans on how to make things work in a business setting or professional setting. I also do feel like using this in a real world setting, how can we apply this? One, this GoFundMe project can actually be put on our resumes, which can really show that we were able to undertake such a big project and be successful with it. We also can show that we're able to hit deadlines throughout the semester. We had certain deadlines that we had to hit with each project, with it being like the proposal and the problem memos. We had certain deadlines, and each one of our group members who were able to hit those. And we even had deadlines within our group, like our video submissions. We had to have this done by a certain date, and then we could have that edited to put this all together. And we were able to hit those. So overall, that shows that we are able to be successful in hitting deadlines in a professional setting. And it just really helped us prepare for real life things. I hope you enjoyed our project. Thank you.